this is solved. Thank you very much for your presentation. I think we can start with a Q&A. As I told Magali at the very beginning, if you guys can help me collecting questions from there, we will do the same here. I guess we will have to use this mic. The other one is some problem. Before we start, I actually have a question that someone wrote in the online chat. They're asking how long does it take usually to complete one painting, and how do your emotions change or might change while the work is in progress, and how that can influence the outcome. It's a bit complex, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it depends really of the painting, of mood, energy, emotions, and everything. So sometimes I can finish painting in 2 hours, literally. Sometimes I can stuck with paintings in a couple of weeks. But I'm a pretty fast in painting, in that sense. Like, so I when I feel to paint, that means I'm ready and I'm doing it, and I'm like not letting the canvas go, in that sense. So really depends. I can do super fast. Sometimes I need more time. With that question about when I finish in 2 hours, my emotions are like not changing that much. But when I paint for a longer, when I stuck on the painting, yeah, that is the part when my emotions can change and my mood can change. So that is the thing when I search in the painting something that I don't understand what is going on with me. And I think that is the reason why I stuck with these paintings. So the influence of my emotion and my mood is obvious to me, like there is the reason why at the end, like maybe I'm not aware why I'm going to in that direction of visualization of something. So the influence can be strong, but again depends of me understanding what I'm doing in that moment clearly. Sometimes I'm losing myself in searching, and I think that is a normal thing with every artist. Sometimes it's super clear and I can finish that like that. So influence of my new emotions or something that change, nothing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If there is no question, you let me know in the living room in Shanghai. I have a question from ICJ. Can you unmute yourself and ask your question, please? Otherwise, I can read it, no problem. Okay, I started by reading it in case. How do you differentiate your own feelings from the noise, from the external influence?
Oh, it's pretty easy. It's my feelings. So I know how, like I think that I hope I didn't live the most of my life already. So in my experience in like a life, I really think that I can now clearly recognize what is my feelings and what is the thing that is influencing, bothering me from outside. But again, it's super connected in that way that sometimes, I can realize that I feel like this because the influence of everything that is happening around me. Like I said, I'm a little bit slower in that way. I need time to figure it out what's going on because so many things are happening that fast, like life, go to work, friends, digital media, social networks, everything. So sometimes I catch myself like I feel I don't know, sad or confused or worried, and not realizing that is where it's coming from. But again, I can recognize my feelings in that sense, like, okay, I feel sad. So that is the reason when I paint or create art, I need time to understand why I feel like that. So The time between this series is like 6, 7 months. So it's always I need time to sit down. So I'm not painting all the time, constantly, because this period between is about to understand how I feel, why I feel that, what is the reason, what is the influence. So everything is connected, but I'm trying to separate and to know, like, okay, I feel like this, I realize that, I acknowledge that, and then to like understand why I feel like that, what is the influence is giving me that feeling. I don't know if it's if it's a good answer.
Bernadette, can you please unmute yourself?
Hmm.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
I good morning for me. I'm in Belgium.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, good afternoon. I have a question. I realize now that the moods, feelings, thinking can influence a lot your work or the work by the area or the people or the country you live in. How did that influence you by living now in Shanghai or in China, working there?
Yeah, I mean that's interesting, and yeah, question. I'm asking this question to myself so many times, and it's you know what is interesting there, because I cannot see the cultural traditional way of China to influence me in the work that I'm changing myself in that sense. But living in Shanghai, in the city of almost 30 million people, it's strong energy. So like I came from Serbia, and Serbia is 7 million people, and this city has more than 25. So you can imagine my like talk and everything. That is the reason I first 2 years I didn't do any art, because I was in chaos. I was trying to figure it out what's going on, where I am, how to function in all this, in everything that surrounds me. So I think that all the paintings that I show you is actually absolutely influenced from Shanghai and everything that is happening here. But again, Shanghai is an international city, and I cannot say that Shanghai is just China. Shanghai is a part of the world, so that everything that is happening in the world happening is here. So that was that society that I analyzed, and again, in the same time, through digital era, you can analyze and see what's going on in every part of the world. So I think it's a big influence, but not in the way of culture difference and traditions that is definitely different than like Western culture and Eastern culture. So not because of that, because of everything else that is happening, and it's happening very fast here too. Not on the same level like in the West civilization, but yeah. So the influence is strong, definitely, and I think that all the paintings are actually under the influence of living in Shanghai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bonnie. Bonnie, can you please unmute yourself? Otherwise, I read it for you. I read it for her. Can you expand upon the idea of the ordinary? Is there a different ordinary in China that has influenced you specifically?
No. Ordinary is ordinary. It's a global phenomenon. It's ordinary. It's a live thing. It's very complicated to define what means ordinary in the way how I concept and how I see. It's like for me, it's everything that is happening now in the world, and every changes that we are seeing, and like I will say typical things like, we all have social medias, and we, not say we, but like people generally, they live fake lives and trying to be something else. And I think the main source of ordinary today that I believe is wrong is that that famous sentence that came, I don't know from where, you can be whatever you want. For me, I'm not agree with that. I think that you can be the best version of yourself, and we need to work on that. But to be whatever you want is giving us that fake lives that we are all stuck in that, and that is the core of ordinary that is happening. So all the changes that we can see today in 21st contemporary society is happening, changing so fast that they are becoming ordinary, like normal, like something like, oh, it's like absolutely normal thing to do. For me, it's not. I know maybe some people want to kill me because of that, but it's for me, that is the concept of that. And I know it's not pretty clear, and it's not like, how to say, it's not simple to explain, like, oh, it's this, because it's live thing, it's like organic thing that is living and changing so fast and becoming, like from year to year, we are like pretending that, oh, that's normal thing that is happening to us, but I think it's not, like we are all living some fake lives in today in society, and that's normal. So Bonnie, I don't know if I answered your question, but
I think so.
I'm
Please
confused too, believe me.
interrupt me in case you have a question coming from the living room there, because I can't see. Meanwhile, there is another one. I think I saw this question coming. What is your view on AI art?
All right, let's go.
Why not? Agree.
Yeah.
Sorry. The question was not to me, but okay.
Okay.
Any question from here
You have questions?
or from
Oh, is
there?
that- Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the phone.
Phone, yeah. This is a microphone.
Also, I wanted to ask if architecture inspires you. The medium you're in plays an important part in the inspiration. How much does it inspire you? Architecture, yeah. Architecture, yeah.
So first of all, I need to say that I see architecture as an art, definitely full art, because like when I talk with some friends, art. What? Huh? You cannot hear me?
No, we can't see you.
Okay.
You're
You're
back.
not missing
Good.
So because like I have so many friends architectures, and when we talk they call me an artist, and I'm always like wait a minute, we're in the same pool. But influence from architecture, it's not that, it's not, I cannot see their connection, because I use geometry not because I want to make some structures in that sense. But again, visually can be very, very close to each other. But my knowledge of architecture is so low that I cannot like take the reference from architecture and say like, okay, I'm doing that because of that. So this is pure honest answer. So it's not because I think it's a good source, bad source. It's just because my knowledge of that is pretty low, that I cannot say like, oh, I'm searching something there and I connecting with these kind of things. Okay.
Another question?
I'm still here. Wait. Okay.
Oh,
After. It's okay. Get that first, and then we come to this living room. It's okay.
How do I?
Hi.
Hi, I just wanted to ask, have you ever started something and then halfway through felt like you needed to redo it again? And then if you ever did, how did you feel about the final result?
someone help me, please. Thank you. Uh, Thank you for the question. Absolutely. So many times I start something, and on not just on the half, I can sometimes I can be very close to to finalize the painting, and I realize that something is not good. And the thing is that I learned that during the university as a student of fine arts, is that sometimes you need to destroy something to create something better. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I love this part of the painting, it's so good, and I'm trying to fix everything around this part because it's amazing, and usually it's everything going down. So I learned that when I come to that kind of stuck situation, that I need to just cover it and start again, let it go. Yeah, it's a painful process in the beginning, but like with experience, you learn that not to attach for the part of the art, painting, or what are you creating. It's about whole painting. So sometimes I stopped on the half, and the painting finished totally in the different direction. And again, like I said, if it's a long process, something is changing inside of me, emotion, and I'm seeing not like, oh, I don't like this today, tomorrow I feel better. So yeah, thanks.
Okay, so I have a question. First of all, dobro večer Seo.
Dobro večer.
What I feel and the relationship I have with your art is that you are questioning the ordinary, almost criticizing the ordinary. What it would take for you to make something that you find extraordinary.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you very
What
well.
would it be extraordinary then, if the ordinary is something you're questioning? And
Oh,
then finding it
wow.
almost, presenting it almost in pejorative. So what is then extraordinary for you?
What presents in life or in art?
You would present in your art.
The thing is that I mean, this is a very good question, and honestly, I need time to think about it and to how to respond on that. But I have a quick answer in that sense, because like I said, in my paintings, I didn't present ordinary. I was presenting how I feel about ordinary. So in that sense, your question is very good. So I need to sit and think about it, and and to try to figure it out how I feel about it, and maybe in that sense I can present in the future in the paintings. Maybe you give me a good homework. What can I do in the future? But yeah, the thing is that in my paintings, I don't need anymore. Huh? It's working. Wow. The thing is that in my paintings, I really that intellectual part of concept of everything, I leave that before, you know, like I start doing that much more before I paint. So I'm doing that intellectual part of to understanding my feelings and everything for a long period before I start to paint. When I start to paint, of course I think, but I don't think in that frame of like, okay, what's going on, why I do this line, present that, and present that. No, it's much more. It's much more my feelings and how I feel in that way, and why I'm gonna use this line there on this part of the painting or something. But in the same time, I'm a professional artist last 20 years, so I have experience of thinking through the process of painting. So I think about all the elements of the painting, but I don't use that intellectual part of like ordinary. And about what extraordinary presents for me, I must say that I need to think about it a little bit. I don't want to say just anything.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
you caught me there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Question?
Oh,
Hi, Mateja.
hello, Christina.
I have a question about, and I don't know if I think about the old masters and all the painters, they all have maybe, don't shoot the messenger, or maybe I'm wrong, certain techniques. Would you say you're using maybe certain technique or techniques, plural, uh, and would say it's like kind of signature in your work? Or do you think, or maybe another question, your technique, does it develop with your emotion and expression, what you're going through in life or what you're dealing with or what you want to express, or what you say you have your technique and you will use it every time just to express your signature? Because you mentioned layering before, and if even if you say like sometimes you paint a painting in 2 hours, I think I'm not a painter. I think it's still to finish something in 2 hours, you need to be very skilled. So,
Oh, thanks.
I, so yeah, that's
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Good question again. Of course, it's developed during the years and during the studying and working. And, you know, like it's absolutely normal as a student of fine arts that you are studying and trying so many different techniques of old masters and errors and in arts. But in the same time, it's absolutely normal that you're developing your signature in the sense how you express yourself, what kind of elements of aesthetic and everything you're using and techniques. But I think that in my visual art is pretty interesting in that sense that some paintings look similar, but some paintings look totally different. But again, I think that if someone looks very carefully, that he will see that there is a similar elements that are like jumping all the time from painting to painting, and similar way of thinking in all of my paintings. Maybe I can change the form and something like that, but in the way of techniques, it's pretty similar. And I developed that through years. So I didn't have like my signature from the beginning. I think it's almost impossible. So you need to come to some level that you can recognize something and say like, okay, I'm secured, strong in this way of using techniques and expressing myself, that I can use that now to show something that how I feel and how what I want to show. Actually, yeah. So yeah, it's developed definitely. Thank you.
We have one here again.
All right. That was good.
Keep them both because we have both. Okay. The camera is there.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Hi.
You already covered this. I'm sorry because I arrived a little late. But yeah, you said that your paintings are very intimately connected to your emotions and feelings. So I was wondering if there's
Wait.
So I
Oh,
was
okay, now.
wondering if there's one specific feeling that is more strong and productive for you, and if you also see any patterns related to those feelings. So, for example, if you're feeling something a little more positive, does it show up in your paintings? And the same with negative feelings.
Again, great answer, great question, because my wife always asking me, okay, Mateja, when you gonna paint something colorful and cheerful and happy? Why everything is so dark? You know, like I'm scared for you, because I think it's I really think that painting is it's my channel to you know, like it's some form of therapy, and I use the paintings to throw up all the dark parts of myself there. So there is a pretty much strong and heavy feelings in my paintings, and they are not like for everyone, and they're not for many of my paintings. I don't think that ever we're gonna be in some apartment. It's like, you know, like someone to sit down with that energy, probably it's not healthy. But there is a paintings that I can feel a little bit more sorry, distractions, more positive in the way how I feel. So yeah, in some paintings I can recognize that there is something change in that. So yeah, you ask me like, is there any feelings that is repeating all the time? There is. And when I said that like strong dark feeling, I don't think it's like, for me, doesn't present disaster and everything is like scary movie horror thing. No, it's just some feeling that I think that we all have. It's not like just Mateja is like that. I think we all have that, you know, like positive, negative parts. And I'm just the guy who presents a little bit more this side, you know. And plus when I connect that with the intellectual way, how I think and what's happening and analyzing everything, and you know, I think that art is a critic of society, critic of ourselves and everything. So doing a critic of that is pushing me to see maybe the things that we need to change. So yeah, that feeling is probably most repeating in my paintings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have I have a little question. Is actually I wanted to know when did you start the first series, and like the year, because you mentioned that you spent a couple of years in China before you start painting,
Yes.
right? Like
Yes.
you were kind of observing. So
Mhm.
I'm curious about like the time where you were doing this, and it a bit kind of like related to the last question. How do your feelings change? I have the feeling that you were talking about like how fast things are going. Like it's hard to like at the beginning of your speech. I can relate to that too. I feel a bit like that. Um, so my question is, I think, related to all the things that are happening in the world now, like I don't know, Gaza, Ukraine and Russia, COVID, all those things. How did they shape your mood, which is kind of like a dark mood in the paintings? Or is it more related to how we're consuming? How are we using Instagram or social media, things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, I start with the first series of paintings, and yes, like 2021, I started to paint a Portrait of the Ordinary series. I came to China 2019, And before that, before 2021, I didn't paint 11 years. I was in theater, working as a director. I was working in film industry too, so in performance. So I was totally in different medias. So that was like a first starting to paint for a long time. So and about the second thing, my research and that part that I'm talking about is a little bit more. It's not that big things like Ukraine, Gaza, COVID. It's more subtle thing that scares me more.
But do you feel that influenced you anyway, or not really?
Of course, it influenced me as a person in that sense. It's like it's all the things are abnormal and scary, and like I'm coming from Yugoslavia, so I felt it on my skin what means living in that kind of environment where is bomb is dropping and everything. So I feel personally very like scared, disappointed that I can see that this humanity's awareness of this civilization is still like 300 years ago. Nothing is changing, but everything else is changing super fast, and that is my confusion and that duality that is fighting inside of me, like so. Yeah, of course.
That's why I asked you the
Yeah.
question, because of your background.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
We jumped from Shanghai back to Belgium again.
Hi. I hope it's not a too personal question. I see that the rectangle is often part of your paintings, in some form, in some ways. Even especially that one with the circle, and you have this very sterile rectangle in there. In how far is that kind of a portrait of yourself, or the place you as take in how you play a part in this world, being in this rectangle?
Actually, like you sound like a good critic. So, like you should write some text for me. My way, it's that rectangle is just a visual element that I'm using, and of course I can give some symbolic part of it in that sense, but I do not attach for that kind of things. Maybe you're right. Maybe psychologically, like I need to talk with Dr. Alex. Someone needs to sit down and try to figure it out what's going down and to connect with my life. Probably, who knows what's going on there, but on my conscious level, no. Yeah, but very interesting. Thank you.
Pleasure. And it would be fun actually to talk about it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it another time, not here, of course, but
yes,
like
definitely.
Okay. Any other question from your living room there? I think we can take one more. One more.
We have one question here.
Okay, please.
Hello. When you sit in front of nothing, whiteboard, white horizon, what's your first few moves? Do you have some rituals, patterns, or you just go with the flow?
Again, interesting question. I think that is a question for every artist, every painter. That we are all scared to death of the white canvas. Yeah, I think that I have some rituals. I think that I like to start to paint with some. This is my method to start to paint with some textures first. But sometimes I can start with the drawing. Sometimes I just need to destroy that white canvas and then to start doing it. So it depends. When I was younger, yeah, I was scared of that whiteness, especially if it's huge. But now I learned. I think that I'm a little bit mature, so I'm going slow, you know, like, so I can spend time in thinking of the first move, what I'm going to do in the painting that can define, mostly can define what's going to happen in that painting. So yeah, there is some rituals in the way how I treat the white canvas, that empty canvas. Yeah. Well,
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm afraid we are running out of time. So if there is
oh
no
yes.
other question there, I will say class dismissed.